Hello and welcome to Bryan Living and Learning. I'm Bruggman with the City of Bryan's Communications Department.
And I'm Sandy Farris, the Communications Director for Bryan ISD. Today we'll be looking at Art Fest, an event that just concluded in our schools. We will look at our library services and the important role they continue to play with our school district, and our special services employees and what they do for our students.
And the City of Bryan's latest fire station number 5, had a grand opening ceremony, and we had some Bryan High students visit our facilities here at the Communications Department. But first, it was 50s night for the first Friday in downtown Bryan. Weekend nights in downtown Bryan bring in folks from all over the area, and First Friday events are even bigger. April's First Friday was no different, and even had a new feature designed to bring in more people to enjoy Bryan's downtown. Through a partnership with Texas A&M shuttle service, the Aggie Spirit, buses were bringing students from A&M's Fish Pond to downtown Bryan. That new feature will continue at least for the May First Friday, and possibly longer depending on the popularity. April's First Friday also included a book sale at the Carnegie Library and the usual horse carriage rides through downtown Bryan. And the new shuttle service didn't stop several students from continuing their tradition of biking to First Friday. Of course, the main headliner of the evening was the movie Grease, played on a big screen at the Palace Theater.
Well, Alan, First Friday continues to grow. It looks like it's a lot of fun, and it's great to see that shuttle service in place now.
Yeah, it's great that the A&M Transportation has partnered with the city to bring those kids down. And it's a test program, but they do plan on doing it at least one more time to see how it works, and that'll be in the month of May.
Our next story showcases the artistic talent of students in kindergarten through 12th grade recently at the Bryan ISD Art Fest.
More than 1,000 pieces of artwork created by Bryan ISD students filled the Bryan High School Silver Cafeteria during the 8th Annual Art Fest, held on March 28th. The show featured art created by kindergarten through 12th grade students during the school year and was displayed as a gallery for students, parents, and community members to enjoy.
Art Fest is actually put on by all of the district art teachers, and it is just an opportunity for all of the schools in Bryan ISD elementary through high school to get to display artwork from their students so that the community can come in and see a variety of different levels of art.
Watercolors, charcoal, sculpture, ceramics, and stitchery showcased the talents of Bryan students and the instruction of Bryan's art teachers. Hands-on craft tables were also available for attendees to create their own take-home art.
Art Fest is a time for all the schools to come together and display their work that they've done throughout the year. So we have representation from each school, and it's important because the kids get to come and see their artwork displayed, along with see where they're going to go in the future, especially at the elementary level, see what they're going to do in middle school and then again in high school.
Art Fest is not a competition, and there was no winner named or prizes awarded. Instead, attendees were treated to a relaxed gallery atmosphere and the opportunity to observe the artistic talent of students throughout the district.
Oh, this is one of my favorite events of the year. There's no event that we go to that illustrates the talent of children's and hope for the future more than an art show. I mean, it's wonderful. We have a good crowd of people walking around admiring all the great works that kids do, and I'm so impressed with the commitment and the talent these kids show, and it's a tribute to our teachers, too, all the great work they do with these kids.
Well, Sandy, it looks like we have some future Picassos here in our schools.
Well, that's a possibility. The quality of the artwork every year just really amazes me. The kids do such a good job with it.
We showed you around the Bryan Fire Department's brand new fire station number 5, and recently they had their grand opening ceremony. With Mayor Mark Conley in the driver's seat, Bryan Fire Engine number 5 formally opened Bryan Fire Station number 5 for business. Firefighters at the new fire station have been answering calls since February, but after a formal grand opening ceremony, the station was officially welcomed into the City of Bryan family. The ceremony opened with Bryan College Station firefighters, pipes, and drums. After the presentation of the colors, city leaders spoke about what the new station means for the city. The new station is located in Ben Hardiman's District 5.
This is the first fire department in District 5 in the city of Bryan. And I can only think of one thing to say. It's about time.
Fire Chief Mike Donahoe is just as thrilled to have the new station and expects great things from the firefighters who will call Fire Station number 5 their home.
This facility will become part of the history and tradition of the city of Bryan. When you go through this facility, you'll see a tremendous amount of empty cabinet space, display cabinet space in front of the television area. Over the years, that cabinet space will fill up with the history and tradition of this station serving the citizens of Bryan. We are here to serve the citizens of Bryan, and we're very proud of what we do and how we do it.
City Manager David Watkins also spoke at the ceremony, and he told those in attendance that one of the main reasons Bryan was able to build a fire station on the west side was because of the leadership at the top of the department.
It takes a really dedicated set of chiefs, battalion chiefs, to run a fire department. It's paramilitary, there's no fooling around. You've got to do a job. And that takes leadership at the top, and I am very proud to work with Chief Donahoe and his firemen. It's been a real pleasure.
The idea of building a new fire station was developed a number of years ago, and Donahoe has been fighting for it ever since.
This project actually started about 5 to 6 years ago. And I can tell you, when I started the project, I had a full head of hair and I was 6'3". And after going to battle with city management teams, the city council, former mayors, former city managers, I feel like we finally won the battle. And I say we because it has been a complete team effort.
The attractiveness of the outside and the usefulness of the inside combined to make Fire Station number 5 a crown jewel in not only the fire department, but the entire city.
This building really represents a series of city strategic goals that the council and the mayor have adopted, which have relevance. Two in particular, the city's image. I think anybody who sees this building, has a chance to go through the building, sees the pride that the officers have, you know that this represents the community very well.
After the ceremony, guests were treated to refreshments in the station kitchen and were allowed to tour the brand new building. Staying with the fire department, recently several Bryan firefighters, along with some Bryan police officers, participated in a Broomball tournament to help prevent domestic violence. When you mix a hockey rink, a competitive tournament, flat-soled tennis shoes, and a worthy cause, you get Broomball 2009.
Each year, the College Station and Bryan police departments and fire departments sort of square off in Broomball games, and then the winners of each game play off for the championship, and they win the Golden Broom, which is a gold spray-painted broom.
The entire event is a fundraiser for the Brazos County Coalition Against Domestic Violence, a group that raises money and awareness about domestic violence here locally. Now, many of you may be thinking, oh, that sounds great. Well, what the heck is Broomball?
Broomball is much like hockey, except we're not on skates, we're on our tennis shoes. And we have sticks that resemble brooms, and kind of between a broom and a hockey stick, kind of a hybrid there, and hit a rubber ball. Doing the full court ice rink, 10 against 10, and it's going to be Bryan PD versus College Station PD.
And as I found out announcing the game over the PA system, watching Broomball is every bit as much fun as it sounds.
Oh, we're all over the ice. You know, there's no breaks. There's a lot of bumping and bruising, but it's a lot of fun. We really enjoy it. Look forward to it every year.
The first matchup featured the Bryan PD versus CSPD, and the Bryan PD had some well-earned confidence heading into the match.
We're undefeated against College Station PD, I'm proud to say, and we expect to carry on that tradition today.
Once the ball was dropped, however, the BPD found it a little bit more difficult to keep up with their College Station peers. Not to mention more difficult to stay on their feet.
Is that all you got? I'll take your best shot. Is that all you got? I'll take your best shot. Is that all you got? I'll take your best shot.
It's very slippery. You play a lot of bumper cars. You're bumping into each other, pushing off of each other, and it is slippery out there, especially around the edges. I am wore out. I realize that I'm a little bit out of shape for this.
Now, Bryan was able to advance the ball into the College Station half of the rink several times, but despite some great attempts, none of their shots found the back of the net.
Try to keep it away from them. They put their whole line on the goal, and so you got to get in there and push them out of the way and get the ball through their feet to get it into the net, and it's just not happening.
So despite their valiant effort, the BPD lost the game and their winning streak to College Station by the score of 4-0. However, the real message of the event wasn't who won or lost or what the final score was. It was all about raising money and giving help to the Brazos County Coalition Against Domestic Violence for the rest of the year.
All the money we raise at supplemental events throughout the year goes to basically all of the events that we put on throughout the year.
And the folks at the Coalition Against Domestic Violence love the attention the Broomball event brings to domestic violence awareness every year.
Domestic violence is something that really, it's indiscriminate. It affects absolutely every race, class, ethnicity, pretty much every group in Bryan College Station is going to be impacted by domestic violence. And so it's just really important to have awareness building events like this where we're not necessarily out here sort of spreading the word about domestic violence, but we're having, fun events just to sort of draw attention to the fact that our organization exists and that we do have this role in the community to inform and educate, different community members and, just about domestic violence and, have people understand this is something that impacts our community.
In the later games, the Bryan Fire Department beat their counterparts from College Station 4-0, and getting a little revenge for the Bryan Police Department, they also defeated CSPD in the championship game 1-0, repeating as Broomball champions.
Well, Alan, that looked like a fun way to raise money for a worthy cause.
Yeah, I'd never actually seen Broomball before live in person, but I know those firefighters and the police officers had a good time playing, and the coalition really appreciated their support.
In our next story, we'll introduce you to some employees who are providing services for students with specialized needs in the district.
Within the Bryan School District, there's a team of professionals who are working with more than 1,100 students who have been identified as having special needs. These specialists work with teachers, parents, and the students themselves to provide a quality education that meets the unique needs of disabled students.
Special education is a service that we provide to students in the district who have a disability. These students go through an assessment process, and if they're found eligible and there's an educational need, then they can receive special education services. Along with some of those services, some of our children receive what we call related services. Some of those services that we provide are occupational therapy, physical therapy, but we don't provide a medical-based physical or occupational therapy. We provide it's educationally based. So what we have to do is to find the supports that can be put into place for the kids to help them to be successful in the school setting. So whether that be helping a child learn how to use utensils when eating, handwriting, going up steps, on the playground equipment. And what they do is they work with the teachers as well so that the supports that they put into place are not only when they're there for a short time, but can be carried over, all during the school day.
What is that?
We have, in our district, we have 12 speech therapists who serve children at all of our campuses. We have diagnosticians. Well, at the high school, we have several diagnosticians there. And then at the elementary level, a diagnostician will serve anywhere between 1 and 3 campuses. We also have LSSPs, which are our licensed specialists in school psychology, and we have 5 of those that serve students throughout the district, whether they are doing assessments with those students or providing counseling services. Our population, our population of children with autism has really grown over the last several years, so there's been a lot of need in that area. And, it's kind of taken off there, but we have a real strong school psychology team who are out at the campuses, kids that are having behavioral difficulties. They're in those classrooms doing what's called a functional behavior assessment, trying to find out, what are the antecedents, what's causing the problem to happen, and then providing the teachers with a lot of strategies and supports, things that they can put into place to help the children be successful in the classroom. So we do provide a lot of supports. We want to provide services in the least restrictive environment. We want to provide as much as we can in the general ed classroom. If they can be successful in the general ed classroom, that's where we want to serve them. So that's where we start off at.
Well, Sandy, that's just another group there within the ISD that I didn't realize had so much support behind the scenes.
They do, and they do a great job of supporting our students with special needs.
Well, it's that time of year again for Brazos Valley Earth Day 2009, and this is the first time the event will be held in downtown Bryan. On April 18th, downtown Bryan is opening its doors to Brazos Valley Earth Day 2009. The event will take place that Saturday from 10 to 3.
This year's Earth Day is going to be really exciting because we're going to have over 50 exhibitors and vendors from the community talking about various environmental services that they offer. We're also going to have environmental vendors. We'll have food and refreshments, free refreshments like Coke and popcorn. In addition, the Kids Zone will have a huge obstacle course for the kids and a rock wall for them to play with. We'll have a craft zone for the kids where they can come and do environmental and recycled crafts. We're going to have a hybrid drive, which is going to host various alternative transportation vehicles like a smart car, an ethanol vehicle, an electric vehicle, and of course the hybrids.
And if you think an event in downtown Bryan isn't complete without some live music, then Brazos Valley Earth Day has you covered.
Most exciting is that we're going to have entertainment from the Rockefellers all day from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and they're going to be playing on a main stage.
A second stage will also be available for the kiddos, featuring a story time, a clown, and face painting. This year's Earth Day event isn't just for environmental experts or novices. It's for everyone.
Everybody should definitely come out to Earth Day because there's always something that you can learn. If you're just learning about different environmental issues, the basics will be out here, how to recycle, how to compost in the Brazos Valley. You'll also learn about what local businesses offer environmental services.
So mark your calendars. It's Saturday, April 18th in downtown Bryan between the Bryan Public Library and the Children's Museum for Brazos Valley Earth Day 2009. It's time to get those tents out and those sleeping bags unrolled for Family Campout 2009 in Austin's Colony Park. It's time for Family Campout at Austin's Colony Park. Bryan's Parks and Recreation is throwing their annual outdoor camping party on Saturday, April 25th. The fun starts that Saturday at 3 p.m. and lasts until 9 a.m. on Sunday the 26th.
Family Campout is such a great program because it's for people who either love to camp or have never been camping. So whether you're an expert or a novice, it's perfect for you.
And it's not just setting up your tent and sleeping in your sleeping bag. Family Campout has activities all night long.
We're going to be doing activities such as stargazing, some outdoor activities such as rope tying and things like that, trying to bring in some educational stuff with outdoors, as well as doing the typical hot dogs, s'mores, and this year we're bringing a movie in. We're going to be showing Open Season Under the Stars.
Anyone can come out to Family Campout, but if you want to participate, you have to sign up.
Sign up at the Aquatic Center. We like people to pre-register because that way we can set our campsites beforehand, but if you can't come, you can always register on site too the day of the event.
And you can get completely registered for just $5.
$5 basically pays for everything for you. It pays for your food, it pays for the activities, and you actually get a t-shirt too.
If you don't own a tent, don't worry. You can rent one from the city for just a $10 fee, and Parks employees will even set it up for you. Speaking of Parks employees, Bryan's Parks staff and their entire department was recently recognized by the United States Water Fitness Association for having the best aquatic programs in the entire state of Texas.
The award was an overall award. What they do is they rank you nationally within your state and within your specialty, such as we're Parks and Recreation. So we won, we're 7th in the nation, we're 1st in the state of Texas, and we're 2nd overall in the nation in Parks and Recreation departments.
The application process for the award was thorough, and Bryan passed the test every step of the way.
We submitted this for the award about our facility. We had to turn in information for what our facility looked like, what programs we offer, who the programs are for, and we actually were quite surprised and honored to get the award that we did.
The biggest component of the award is the aquatic programs that are offered at the city's Parks and Rec department.
We offer so many things at the Aquatic Center that a lot of people just don't really know that we offer. It ranges from lap swimming, water aerobics, to swim lessons for all ages, starting at 6 months to adults. We have diving lessons, we have junior lifeguard, we have lifeguard classes, we have water safety instructor courses, we have, you name it, it's there, special events and everything.
Staff was pleasantly surprised Bryan won the prestigious awards because they were competing against brand new aquatic facilities around the state and the nation.
The fact that we won this award with our facility being 25 years old is phenomenal. A lot of the places that we went up against have brand new state-of-the-art facilities that we of course would actually love to have, and we hope someday to get one of those facilities, but we will continue with what we have continue working towards making our programs great, and then when we someday in the future possibly get that facility, be able to add more.
For more information on the types of aquatic programs the city has, log online at bryanparksandrecreation.com.
Well, what a great thing for the aquatic program to receive all those awards.
Yeah, the Parks and Recreation Department does a great job having activities for all age groups.
Our next story will highlight our school libraries, where it's not just about books anymore.
As computers, email, the internet, and other media become more integrated into the education process, you can't help but wonder what role books, magazines, newspapers, and therefore libraries will play in the future. Sandal Stevenson, who oversees library services for Bryan ISD, is helping to shape our school libraries into places where students and teachers can make use of new technologies or just sit down with a good book.
I think people are reading as much, they're just reading different things. They read e-magazines and they read information online, they read newspapers online, but they still come in here. We still have paper newspapers that people read. People still read books. Lots of our kids do. We have a lot of use. So it's still very traditional, but moving into the computer age is just what the kids like to do and what adults do. But we want to have all the technology available as things move to electronic format so that we can have that for our students. That's what school libraries do. They support students and then what students are being taught. Our elementary schools, our libraries are the places where students really start that love of reading. We do a lot of accelerated reader. That's a reading program, not in all our elementary schools, but most of them, where kids learn to read and that they have a lot of choices in reading, and that really gets them excited when they get to choose the book that they want. If you can read well and love to read, then school is good for you. It's a good thing. And middle school is always interesting because that's sort of an interesting age, but our middle school libraries is where we really start technology. We do a lot of training for kids to find the best information. It's easy to find information. It's not easy to find the best information. And that's where we start in middle school, but we still do a big reading program, and that's great. And then secondary schools, high schools, huge amounts of research here. We have what we call a robust research program. And at our second high school as well, at Rudder. So we teach information literacy. And again, it's easy to find info, but you want reliable and credible information. And we still have a huge circulation of fiction books. The big things are graphic novels. That's really the trend right now. Kids love those. They like the Japanese ones, the books called anime that you read backwards and upside down. And of course, anything that's tied to a movie. You know, the Twilight books, the vampire books are very big right now because they're fun. And then, just like forever, people like love stories, people like historical fiction, people like science fiction and fantasy. Those have been around for a long time. Every one of our schools, the 21 schools that we have now, have a certified librarian. That means that's a person that's been a teacher in Texas and now has trained and gone back and got a master's in library science. And our focus is to support the curriculum. So if it's taught in our schools, that's what we go after. The very best resources to support what our teachers are teaching and what our children like to read. Because now we have to compete not with just sports and the band, but we have to compete with video games and music and iPods and all the MySpace and Facebook and all the electronic resources. So you really have to sort of market your library. You really have to let kids know what we have that's so exciting and that's helpful for them. And once they get in here, they find how helpful it can be. Sometimes they're amazed that we have so many different types of resources. You know, the stereotypes hang around. People think it's like it used to be, but it's not. And now we're even getting ready to start, we're venturing into e-books, which is going to be a big change. Instead of, I think there will always be books, regular books like we have, But we're getting ready to venture off into e-books, and that'll be something that the kids, I think, will get excited about. Libraries the roles library have changed a lot in the last few years. Libraries are exciting places because we have so much technology, but you can't ever forget the books. We do both those things, and I think we do them very well.
Well, Sandy, it's interesting to see how school libraries have kept up with the latest in technology.
It is, and I think probably a lot of the things that you and I had in school libraries when we were growing up are gone now and been replaced by technology, but the libraries still serve an important function.
Well, we recently had a group of kids from Bryan High School come to the communications department here at the City of Bryan to see what we do on a daily basis. A group of approximately 25 students from Bryan High's Go Center recently visited the City of Bryan's municipal building. The career-based class focuses on jobs within the technology field, so they visited with yours truly and other members of Bryan's communications team. The visit started in the council chambers, where the communications team showed the students some videos that were created on the job.
It was pretty nice. I like videos, stuff to do with videos. I like the new technology that they showed, the videos, just all the aspect of technology.
From there, the group trekked upstairs into one of the communications offices where they were able to see the technology and equipment that is behind the production of the videos, TV shows, and print publications. The students enjoyed seeing some high-tech equipment that they don't get to use in their high school classrooms.
Our school has very limited tech because they have to service like 1,000 students a day on those computers there, so you really don't get much time to see what you could do. So when you get to go out, you get to see what other people do when they're just doing this all day, rather than what you do for 45 minutes a day.
From there, the tour wrapped up at the studio, where Bryan Limited Learning is hosted. The visit was the second consecutive for the Go Center class, which has kids who are interested in all sorts of tech careers.
There's so many different ways that they can, pathways that they can choose, as far as graphics or media tech or business information, and so there's different pathways that they can choose, and so they're kind of at the ground level right now, and so we want to get them out into the community and see what there is, and then they can take the classes at school.
Following the tour, there was a question and answer session, which may have been the most valuable for the students. These field trips will continue to be a year-round aspect of the class because it not only benefits the students, but also our city.
We feel like it's real important to get the kids out into the community and let them know what Bryan has to offer, so hopefully when they go to school and come back that they'll stay here and be an asset to this community.
Well, Alan, I know the students enjoyed coming to see an area that they possibly have a career interest in.
Yeah, I think they had a good time, and we did too, showing them what we do on a daily basis, and also here on Bryan Limited Learning. Well, that's all the time we have for you on this episode of Bryan Limited Learning. To watch the show again, you can log on to bryantx.gov or youtube.com/cityofbryan
or bryanisd.org. For Alan Bruggman, I'm Sandy Farris. Thank you for watching today.